The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, January 7, reveal that Victor Newman will make a vow to Nikki Newman and try to ease her mind about this whole Ian Ward situation. Nikki will remain on high alert, but Victor will promise he's going to protect her no matter what. Of course, that same vow will go for the rest of the Newman clan as well. Victor will assure Nikki that he won't let Ian cause any more harm, but she'll fret over what Ian is capable of. Nikki will worry about Victor's safety too, but he'll do his best to convince her that everything's going to be fine. Although Ian has more tricks up his sleeve, Victor will make a prediction about being able to handle him. Over with Nick Newman, he'll decide he can't just sit around and wait for updates on Sharon Newman's whereabouts. Nick will want to be more proactive, so he'll resolve to hunt for Sharon himself. The longer Sharon is missing, the worse things could get for her. That's why Nick will act fast and hope he can get to the bottom of all this before it's too late. While Nick's frantic search is underway, Phyllis Summers will have big news for Billy Abbott. Although Phyllis has gone back and forth on whether she'll team up against Victor, she'll make a firm decision now. Phyllis is on the verge of making a risky deal with Billy, so she may finally go all in on helping him with his Chancellor plot. Since Phyllis has decided to let the cops do their jobs when it comes to the Heather Stevens investigation, she could use a way to distract herself. However, Y&R fans can expect Phyllis to be a bad influence on Billy once the action heats up. Sally Spectra may have some concerns about this partnership and the trouble that's on the horizon. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Billy will be torn between the good guy Sally wants him to be and the worst impulses that Phyllis brings out. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, January 6 promise some major plot twists as Genoa City kicks off a new week. Two rivals have a heated confrontation as someone makes a shocking discovery and a character is in a dire predicament. What kind of drama is set to unravel on Monday? Time to dive right in. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Ian Ward vs. Victor Newman. Y&R spoilers for Monday, January 6 suggest that Ian Ward will have a major face-off with Victor Newman. The soap's preview for the week of January 6 to 10 reveals a clip of the two at the Newman ranch. So it looks like the mustache may have dragged Ian to his home, so he can issue his nemesis a warning, so he knows he means business. Victor doesn't like the idea of Ian being back in town, so he may make it clear that GC is simply not big enough for the both of them. He may also issue a warning to Ian to stay away from his loved ones, but will Ian listen? I&R spoilers. Nikki Newman's shock. Speaking of the Victor-Ian confrontation, Y&R spoilers for Monday, January 6 indicate that Nikki Newman will be in for a shock as she stumbles on her husband and one of their biggest rivals. The soap's preview video for the week of January 6 to 10 shows Victor's wife, in her pajamas, coming down the stairs of the ranch after hearing voices. As Ian turns around to reveal himself, Nikki will be completely caught off guard to see the former cult leader standing in her living room. What happens next? The Young and the Restless spoilers. Sharon Newman's dire predicament. Lastly, Y&R spoilers for Monday suggest Sharon Newman will be in a dire predicament. It looks like Jordan will move Sharon from the motel room to a sewage basement somewhere in GC. The Y&R preview video shows an unconscious Sharon tied up in a chair, so it looks like Jordan will continue to pump her with chloroform to keep her from waking up. But will she succeed in dumping Sharon's body in the river? Who will stop her? Are you excited about Monday's show? Comment below. Catch the CBS Soap Daily so you don't miss a moment of the drama, and visit SOS often for the best Young and the Restless spoilers, updates, and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers for January 6 to 10 focus on rude awakenings, surprising news, and dangerous situations, and are two determined individuals with revenge on their minds about to strike a deal. Save Sharon. Jordan and Ian drugged and grabbed Sharon. They plan to kill the Crimson Lights owner and frame Phyllis for her murder. How far will their plans progress when Nick is desperate to save his ex-wife? In an action-packed week, Sharon has a rude awakening. It looks like the demonic duo of Jordan and Ian hole Sharon up somewhere below Genoa City. Meanwhile, Nick searches for Sharon. Obviously, Nick, who has been in savior mode for months, will desperately search for Sharon. In fact, by the end of the week, look for Nick to take matters into his own hands to find Sharon. What does that mean? What is Nick willing to do? And will he get his hands on Ian or Jordan or come up empty? Damien. Nate's search for Amy's son and half-brother picks up again. They are out in Los Angeles, enacting Nate's plan to track Damien down. Well, this seems to be the week success happens. On Wednesday, January 7, Nate and Audra uncover an important clue. It must be a real game-changing clue because on Thursday, January 8, Nate shares surprising news with Amy. In the next week on promo at the end of Friday's episode, Nate and Damien sit at the same table and talk. However, Nate hasn't filled Damien in on who he is yet. This means we can expect Days of Our Lives alum Nathan Owens to begin airing next week. Odds and ends. Newman in danger. Sharon isn't the only Genoa City resident in danger next week, especially when Jordan decides to go rogue. Suddenly, Nikki worries about Claire's safety. Is there a reason why Nikki's worry is focused on Claire? Has she gone MIA? Is this what Jordan does when she goes rogue? Corporate GC shenanigans. Devon strategizes with Lily and Abby while Nate is out of town. Is this about making Winters more formidable, or maybe how to divide the power at the company? Because Lily's used to being a CDO. Frankly, she needs a job and title that's worthy of her talent and skill level. Meanwhile, a couple of independents finally decide to work together when Phyllis strikes a deal with Billy, undoubtedly to get revenge on Victor. Is this about Phyllis finally deciding to forget about her vendetta against Sharon? The Abbott men. Finally, Jack presses Kyle to come clean. What is this about? Does Jack want to know how Kyle stole the Jabot product while working for Glissade? Now that he's Jabot's co-CDO, he owes his father an answer. Or is this about another secret entirely? The Young and the Restless scoop for Monday, January 6, reveals Sharon Newman will find herself alone and afraid. Also coming up, Victor Newman will threaten Ian Ward. Plus, Cole Howard will mull over an offer, and Faith Newman will lash out at Mariah Copeland. My and our spoilers tease Victoria Newman will join Cole at the jazz club bar. She'll jokingly ask if their New Year's Eve celebration in the suite wasn't enough. They'll discuss the job Victor offered him. Cole will say he isn't sure he can deal with being under Victor's thumb all the time. My and our daily scoop. Faith says their mother could be dead. Meanwhile, Faith will freak out about Sharon. She'll blame Mariah for agreeing with their mom that she didn't need a security detail. She could be dead right now, but then she'll apologize and say she's just on edge. Mariah too will worry that their mother is missing and Ian is out there. She'll ask Tessa Porter to tell her everything she remembers about her interaction with Ian. Tessa will describe what happened and Mariah will wonder what Ian's angle was. Maybe he did it for me, to show me that he's a changed man, she'll add. But she knows that whatever he's up to, it's a scam. She'll add that if Ian is connected to Sharon's disappearance in any way, then she's in real trouble. At the seedy motel, Jordan Howard will walk in and tell Ian that Sharon is in the car. He'll say they need to make it look like Sharon's in the same watery grave that Heather Stevens ended up in. That's the poetic justice we need to sell Phyllis guilt. However, Jordan will say she's not going to do any more jobs for him unless he reciprocates. Let me remind you, you're out of prison right now and the world doesn't even know it, he'll reply. I did that. Meanwhile, Victor will show his security head a photo of Ian. "I don't care how many men it takes, you find him, you bring him to me." He'll ask Nick Newman why Ian would come out of the shadows now. But Nick will say he's just shown up and Sharon's gone. None of this is random. Young and the Restless scoop. Sharon's where she needs to be. Then Victor's security man will walk inside with Ian. The mustache will say they've been expecting him. "Praise be," Ian will reply. "My prayers have been answered." Nick will ask what's up with the alias, and Ian will say his real name carries a lot of baggage. "Why'd you come here? What do you want?" Victor will ask. Ian will say he wants to make amends to him, Nicky Newman, but mainly to Mariah. "I have resolved to atone for my sins." Nick will ask him where Sharon is, but Ian will lie and say he has no idea who Nick's talking about. "You're not leaving this room until you tell me where she is," Nick will reply. Ian will remind him he was at Society tonight, and Victor will say he's the same BS artist he always was. "If I find that you were involved in all the things that are upsetting us right now, I will hunt you down like an animal and make you disappear." So Ian will tell Victor the police know he's in town, and they're also in possession of a letter that points the finger at the Newmans. "If anything dire were to happen to me." Then Nicky will come downstairs and ask Victor what the hell Ian is doing there. Victor will walk Ian to the door and tell his security man to follow him. In what looks like a boiler room, Jordan will handcuff Sharon to a metal pipe. She'll tell her to be grateful she's not at the bottom of a river. The villain will put some water and food beside the still unconscious Sharon and say at least she's not getting Brussels sprouts and vodka. "That is reserved for you, Nicky Newman, and it's coming." Then she'll tell Sharon she's her insurance policy. "To get what I need from my partner." Jordan will return to the motel, and Ian will show up shortly after. He'll say he was just at Victor's ranch. He'll ask if Sharon is now lying peacefully at the bottom of the river. Sharon is exactly where she's supposed to be, Jordan will reply. Finally, Sharon will open her eyes and realize she's alone and chained to a pipe. "Help!" She'll cry out hoarsely. "Somebody help me!" The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, January 6th, force Sharon to face where she'll be kicking off her 2025. Prisoner of the Heart. Sharon had just realized that she wasn't the one who killed Heather. Someone else was in Daniel's apartment and actually did the deed while Sharon was in one of her regularly scheduled faints. But that information isn't going to do her much good, now that Ian and Jordan drugged and kidnapped her on New Year's Eve. Sharon was, once again, unconscious, but now she's finally ready to wake up. She comes to in Jordan and Ian's hotel room, and now she has to wonder whether she's about to go from murder suspect to victim. Do what you must. But Sharon shouldn't fear, Victor is here. Now that Nick knows that Ian is back in Genoa City, Victor knows that Ian is back in Genoa City. And now that Victor knows that Ian is back in Genoa City, he takes it upon himself to let Ian know that he isn't welcome. Victor doesn't want him there. Ergo, Ian needs to leave. If he doesn't, Victor will do bad, Victor-like things. Doesn't Ian know how powerful Victor is? Why, thanks to him, Jordan is currently under lock and key, and she will never, ever get out of jail. You got that. Decision doubt. Cole was settling pretty well into Genoa City. He was getting to know his newfound daughter. He ignored Victor's threats to stay away from Victoria until Victor announced he had now approved the relationship, and both Victoria and Cole ignored him, which had nothing to do with that. So things are going pretty well, almost too well. Now, Victor has asked Cole to work for Newman Enterprises. Should Cole believe that he might have a long-term future in town? One that includes Victoria, she's got something to say about that. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that the news of Ian Ward and Jordan's partnership will eventually come to light. Jordan and Ian can't hide their alliance forever, especially once Victor Newman sends his security guide to follow and monitor Ian around the clock. At some point, it's going to be exposed that Ian and Jordan are team players. Ian and Jordan have a shared goal, since they were to win back the affection of Mariah Copeland and Claire Newman. Though they're prepared to punish Claire and Mariah if they don't cooperate. It's easy to imagine some scenario where Mariah and Claire make a team effort of their own. I and R could let this friendship become more important as the action heats up. With Sharon Newman's life at stake and potentially Phyllis Summers' life, too based on upcoming spoilers, Claire and Mariah may take matters into their own hands. Ian wants to believe he can be a father figure to Mariah again, so maybe she'll pretend she's missed Ian and trusts him again. Mariah might con Ian into thinking she's pledging her loyalty and going back into that cult mentality. Likewise, Claire may feel partially responsible for the chaos that's been unleashed and resolve to dupe Jordan too. Perhaps Claire could make Jordan believe that she's repentant for letting herself get swept up in this lavish Newman world. Claire could pull off a renewed loyalty act as well and convince Jordan that things are going to be just how they used to be. Jordan always liked to run the show and mold Claire into her obedient little soldier against the Newman clan, so Claire may play a part. In other words, Claire and Mariah might set a trap once they realize Jordan and Ian are working together. It could prompt Mariah and Claire to join forces as well as they plot Ian and Jordan's takedown. Lulling Jordan and Ian into a false sense of security could be part of an elaborate scheme, but it could backfire if Claire and Mariah aren't convincing enough. Our predictions point to Mariah and Claire getting caught up in some chaos no matter what. The Young and the Restless spoilers say some twists and turns are still to come, so stay tuned for updates on all the danger ahead. Former The Young and the Restless star Doug Davidson recently made a heartfelt confession about his time on the show before announcing a break from social media. Davidson, beloved for his role as Paul, hasn't been seen on the CBS soap in over a year. Fans have long expressed their disappointment over his absence, and Davidson himself has voiced frustration about the lack of communication from the network after his incredible 42-and-a-half-year tenure. In a candid admission, Davidson revealed that he hasn't received any acknowledgement from the network. No phone call, no thank you for his service. However, he doesn't take it personally, attributing it instead to the changing times. Despite the disappointment, Davidson remains grateful for his time on the show, which played a significant role in his life. As Davidson prepares to step away from Twitter, he shared, "I'll send some updates before I go." He also revealed an ongoing struggle, saying, "I keep dreaming about the show and can't find my script." Describing what sounds more like a recurring nightmare than a fond memory, he added, "Let's see if taking a break from here changes my dreams." This announcement came in response to a fan who shared a nostalgic scene of Paul and Christine enjoying a romantic picnic. Many fans chimed in to express their love for Davidson and their desire to see him return to Genoa City. Laura Lee Bell, who plays Christine, also commented, "I too am waiting for the day we can have a scene like this together again." Davidson responded, "Me too," and thanked fans for their unwavering support, calling them fabulous. While Davidson appreciates the love, he admitted that his deep connection to the show has made it difficult to move on. "It's just all Young and the Restless," he explained. "I think I need some separation from it to move forward." Fans remain hopeful that Paul will one day make his return to Genoa City. With the holidays approaching, we invite you to explore our Young and the Restless gift gallery for fun ideas to celebrate the show's legacy and its cherished characters. The Young and the Restless spoilers, the hidden truth, Ian Ward's obsession with Nikki. Ian Ward had always been a man of manipulation, cunning, and unrelenting pursuit. Yet his obsession with Nikki Newman went beyond his usual schemes. It wasn't just about power or control. It was about the secrets she carried, secrets that, if revealed, could unravel the Newman family and forever alter the lives of those involved. Ian Ward's target, Nikki and Mariah. Ian's interest in Nikki was no coincidence. For years, he had circled her life like a predator, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Nikki's connection to him was deeper and darker than anyone realized, and Ian knew it. His recent focus on Mariah only added fuel to the fire. Why Mariah? Because she, too, was entangled in the web of mystery that connected Nikki, Ian, and, most importantly, Nick. Ian's motives were twofold: to expose the truth about Nick's parentage and to determine whether Maria was his granddaughter. To achieve this, he needed Nikki to confess her long-buried secrets, a confession that could destroy her family and her marriage to Victor Newman. The rumor that won't die, Nick's parentage. For years, whispers had circulated about a possible affair between Nikki and Ian during their time in the New World cult. Ian's charm and manipulative nature had drawn many women into his orbit, and Nikki wasn't immune. While she eventually escaped Ian's influence, the possibility of a child from their union lingered. Nick Newman, Victor's beloved son, or was he? Ian had long suspected that Nick was his biological son, a result of his and Nikki's time together. Victor's cold demeanor toward Nick only added to Ian's suspicions. Was Victor's strictness rooted in disappointment, or was it because he knew the truth but chose to remain silent? Victor's silence, protecting the legacy or avoiding the truth. Victor Newman was a man of power and pride, but he wasn't blind. Over the years, he had likely pieced together fragments of Nikki's past, including her ties to Ian. Yet Victor never confronted her openly. Why? Perhaps Victor knew the truth but chose to bury it for the sake of the Newman legacy. Admitting that Nick wasn't his biological son would have far-reaching consequences, not just for the family's reputation but for Victor's own identity as the patriarch of the Newman dynasty. Ian's leverage, forcing Nikki's hand. Ian's attacks on Nikki were relentless. He appeared in her life repeatedly, taunting her with veiled threats and cryptic remarks. "How long do you think you can keep the truth buried, Nikki?" he'd say, his voice dripping with malice. Nikki's fear was palpable. She avoided Ian as much as possible, but his presence loomed over her life like a dark cloud. He was determined to force her to admit the truth, that Nick was his son and Mariah was his granddaughter. But would Nikki ever confess? Nikki's inner struggle. Nikki wrestled with her conscience daily. She had spent decades building a life with Victor, protecting their family and their reputation. Admitting to an affair with Ian, and the possibility that Nick was Ian's child, would shatter everything. It would devastate Victor, alienate Nick, and leave the Newman family vulnerable to Ian's manipulations. In private moments, Nikki's guilt consumed her. She longed to protect Nick and Mariah from Ian's influence, but she also knew that the truth had a way of surfacing, no matter how deeply it was buried. Victor Newman, the patriarch of the Newman family on The Young and the Restless, is a force of nature. He's a powerful businessman, a devoted family man, and a character who isn't afraid to bend the rules to achieve his goals. This very characteristic, his willingness to operate in the gray areas of morality, has been a constant source of controversy and discussion among viewers. Victor's ruthless business tactics, his tendency to manipulate situations to his advantage, and his often controlling behavior towards his family have drawn criticism. Some viewers argue that his actions glorify unethical behavior and send a negative message. This aspect of Victor's character provides fertile ground for exploring themes of power, morality, and the consequences of unchecked ambition. It prompts discussions about whether the ends justify the means, and whether a person can truly be redeemed after consistently crossing ethical lines. This also allows the show to explore the impact of such behavior on those around him, especially his family, who are often caught in the crossfire of his schemes. A significant part of Victor's storyline has revolved around his frequent brushes with the law. He has been imprisoned multiple times for various offenses, from corporate espionage to obstruction of justice. While these storylines create dramatic tension and provide opportunities for compelling performances, they have also raised questions about the show's realism. Some viewers find it difficult to believe that a man as powerful and wealthy as Victor could repeatedly face legal consequences and still manage to maintain his empire. This aspect of Victor's narrative allows for discussions about the influence of wealth and power within the legal system. Victor's complex and often tumultuous love life has been a cornerstone of his character's story. His relationships, particularly his on-again, off-again romance with Sharon Newman, have generated intense fan reactions. Victor's unwavering devotion to Sharon, even after numerous betrayals and heartbreaks, has been both praised and criticized. Some viewers find their enduring connection romantic and compelling, while others view it as an unhealthy obsession. This aspect of Victor's story allows for exploration of themes like love, forgiveness, and the enduring power of connection. It also raises questions about the nature of toxic relationships and the challenges of moving on from past hurts. The constant push and pull between Victor and Sharon provides a rich source of drama and keeps viewers invested in their intertwined destinies. Beyond the character of Victor, there have also been discussions, though often based on unconfirmed rumors, about Eric Braeden's interactions with his co-stars on set. Finally, Eric Braeden's active presence on social media has also been a source of discussion. His outspoken nature and willingness to share his opinions on various topics have sometimes led to controversy. While many appreciate his candor and direct communication style, others have criticized some of his comments. By exploring these different facets of Victor Newman and the discussions surrounding Eric Braeden, we gain a deeper understanding of the complexities of this iconic character and the impact he has had on the world of daytime television. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease Billy Abbott is laser-focused on exacting revenge on Victor Newman and reclaiming what he has lost. Fans of Y&R are well aware that Billy is determined to make Victor face the consequences, while also striving to take charge of Chancellor. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Billy Abbott will make time for romance in the midst of vengeance. In his relentless pursuit of revenge, he will also find time for romance. Sally Spectra is determined to guide Billy toward a more positive direction in 2025, though this task will prove to be quite challenging. Billy's darker instincts will persist as a hurdle, but Sally aims to be a source of positivity in his life. Despite Phyllis Summers causing chaos and exacerbating Billy's flaws, Sally will remain a beacon of hope. As Billy becomes increasingly drawn to Sally's warmth, he may discover deeper emotions blossoming within him. Y&R spoilers, the beginning of a beautiful love story. Something magical might be unfolding before our eyes, perhaps the start of a dazzling romance that could take flight at breakneck speed, especially given Billy's impulsive nature. He has a tendency to dive into emotions headfirst, so it wouldn't be shocking if he finds himself proposing to Sally in the near future. Could it be that by spring, he'll have a sparkler ready for her? If Billy can no longer hold back his feelings, he might just take the plunge and ask for her hand, eager for a quick engagement. Sally and Billy are set to create something remarkable together as an exciting new pair, according to our Y&R predictions. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson may be reuniting. Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson appear ready to embrace their true feelings for one another. As they rekindle their romance and work to reunite their family with Connor Newman, the revival of Chelsea and Adam's relationship may have repercussions for Billy. Will he feel compelled to accelerate his relationship with Sally in response? Might a twinge of jealousy and the urge to completely move on from Chelsea influence Billy's decisions? If Billy starts shopping for an engagement ring, Sally could become anxious about his intentions, even as he reassures her that his love is genuine. Regardless of the outcome, if things continue on this positive trajectory, Billy and Sally could solidify their bond as a lasting couple. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Phyllis Summers may come face to face with the woman who nearly caused her to lose her life. Jordan was the one who ran Phyllis off the road, so the two of them could be on another collision course now. Phyllis recently went for another drive and had a memory flash that allowed her to see the other driver clearly. As a result, Phyllis admitted to Daniel Romalotti Jr. and Summer Newman that it definitely wasn't Sharon Newman. There was an older woman with wavy hair and glasses behind the wheel of that truck instead. What happens if Phyllis bumps into that woman while a disguised Jordan is roaming around town? Jordan might have that same disguise on when she comes face to face with Phyllis. It's easy to imagine Phyllis flashing back to that night again and hurling accusations, especially if she sees Jordan getting out of that familiar truck. My and our spoilers say Jordan will stash Sharon in what appears to be the sewer system, instead of dumping her in the river like Ian Ward wants. It'll be a last resort strategy for Jordan in case Ian doesn't come through on his part of their partnership. However, other Young and the Restless spoilers point to Jordan making yet another rogue move later in the week. Could that involve what Jordan might do after a run-in with Phyllis? It's easy to imagine Phyllis grabbing her phone to call the cops and getting knocked out on the spot. Jordan might drag Phyllis down to the sewer system as well and lock her up alongside Sharon. Based on my and our preview info for 2025, Sharon and Phyllis will get stuck in a situation where both their lives are at stake. It'll leave these foes in a tight spot that makes them reconsider their relationship and perhaps realize they must become allies. That certainly could fit for a scenario where Jordan holds Phyllis hostage with Sharon and they have to team up on an escape. Whatever the case, the fact that Phyllis now has a description of the hit-and-run driver is significant. It could lead to Phyllis having a shocking encounter with disguised Jordan and landing in some trouble as a result. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Phyllis has some new jams ahead of her, so stick with us for more predictions on all the action and updates on any bad news that's looming. We'll have other fantastic Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, news, and updates, so make us your favorite hotspot. It is that time of year again, and we want to know who your favorite actor is on The Young and the Restless. Here is our picks for the year. Let us know who your favorite is. The Young and the Restless spoilers: Eric Braeden, Victor Newman, the patriarch of the Newmans. Victor believes that he has to protect his family at all cost. However, Victor often crosses the line and interferes when he should simply mind his own business, something that is not about to happen. Victor recently went after his daughter's ex-husband because he cannot let go of. Victor doesn't care who he hurts as long as he gets his way. Victor doesn't believe his kids and think for themselves. My and our spoilers: Joshua Morrow. Nick Newman is a man that tries to keep everyone in his family happy, no matter who he hurts in the process. Nick is caught between Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers. Phyllis tried to tell Nick that Sharon was after her. However, Nick and Chance Chancellor both thought she was lying. Nick now believes that Sharon is being framed. Will this be the end of Nick's relationship with Phyllis, or will he prove her wrong? The Young and the Restless spoilers: Michael Mueller. Kyle Abbott has been through a lot this year. Kyle's mother fired him. Victor Newman has used him. Kyle doesn't feel that he can trust his father. Kyle is caught between cousins, Summer Newman and Claire Newman. Kyle knows that Summer has issues about her cousin's past, and he doesn't care. Kyle has forced Summer to deal with Claire as their son's nanny, and now she is going to work with her grandmother Nikki Newman instead. My and our spoilers: Connor Floyd. Chance Chancellor doesn't seem to know exactly what he wants to do. Hans stopped being a cop to go to work at the family company. Now Chance is back at the GCPD and working cases again. That doesn't mean that he did real justice for Heather Stevens or Phyllis. Will Connor lose Summer over not believing her mother? Does Chance still have feelings for Sharon after all? The Young and the Restless spoilers. Scene Dominic, Nate Hastings. Former doctor of Victor Newman, Nate now works in business with his family. Nate is in a relationship with Audra Charles. Nate wants more, but Audra doesn't believe in love or anything of the sort. Nate is trying to find his half-brother that he didn't know existed. However, Nate doesn't know if he will be able to find him or have a relationship with him. Will Nate be able to bond with his newfound brother? The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Tessa Porter didn't know that Reverend Warren was Ian Ward, but she knows now. The deep chill she felt following her quick recovery from being drugged by him included multiple family members rushing to her side. Ian didn't anticipate Mariah Copeland arriving while propping Tessa up. That happened after he gave Society's manager an extra inhaler. Viewers know that Ian used a momentary opportunity to pour a drug into Tessa's water bottle. He did that when she stepped away to help customers after telling Ian that the restaurant was booked on New Year's Eve. While she didn't see him commit his latest crime, Abby Winters had to have a security camera fixed on the area where Ian was, right? The Young and the Restless spoilers. Soapy evidence pushes the plot. Tessa, Mariah, Nick Newman, or Faith Newman are sharp. Despite being jeered by Ian's return to Genoa City, Wisconsin, and purposeful interactions, one in that foursome has to think about modern security. Mariah and her twin sister, Cassie Newman, were born approximately 3 decades ago. Restaurants had video security systems back then when VHS tapes were standard. Today's digital systems are far superior, providing wide-angle, zoom-in capability that should disprove Ian's boasts about being reformed. If viewers don't see this common-sense request explored or learn that Society's video system didn't record Ian's exact moves, then this storyline will be punted rather than pushed. I and R spoilers. Meanwhile, Sharon Newman is tied up. All the drama involving Tessa and the arrival of Mariah, Nick, and Faith caused a distraction. Sharon Newman's absence wasn't initially noticed, but Mariah noticed that her mother wasn't present long after the New Year's Eve festivities calmed past the loud stroke of midnight in this Midwestern city. Sharon was in the parking lot, ready to join everyone inside at Society when Jordan Howard rendered her unconscious and then transported her to GC's outskirts. It was sad to see Sharon's face taped and her hands bound, but that's what Ian told Jordan to do, and she complied. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Victor Newman enters the frame. Nick warned Ian. However, Victor Newman will raise the threat level to its maximum altitude. Victor won't possibly allow Ian to roam the streets unimpeded, especially after it's realized that Sharon is missing. This mystery's elements will become apparent now that Ian is back and Case's character is missing. Nick suspected that something was off with Sharon's medication. Now, her absence on New Year's Eve will signal that dark forces set her up for Heather Stevens' murder. Malevolence comes in the form of 2 people, Ian and Jordan. They intend to exact revenge to the end in GC, though they, not the Newmans, are likely doomed. The Young and the Restless and General Hospital spoilers reveal that 2 soaps are about to collide as Genoa City and Port Charles come together in an unexpected way. On Instagram, Sharon Case recently spilled some exciting news about a General Hospital crossover of sorts, and it involves Maurice Benard. In addition to starring as everyone's favorite soap mob boss, Benard is a mental health advocate who hosts a podcast called State of Mind. It turns out Case is going to be a guest on Benard's show, and plenty of fans are thrilled over her latest announcement. Sharon Case posted a picture of herself with Maurice Benard with the caption, "Coming soon," confirming her appearance on State of Mind in the comments. Benard called Case a sweetheart and clearly seems excited about her upcoming appearance. Case and Benard will no doubt have a lot to talk about since their soap characters have something in common. Both Sharon Newman and Sonny Corinthos have bipolar disorder. Bernard will likely have questions about her storylines over the years, as he also has bipolar disorder in real life. This shared experience should bring an extra layer of depth to their conversation. Maurice Bernard is known for conducting interviews that go deep, so Sharon Case was obviously willing to get up close and personal when she signed on for this. It'll be interesting to hear what Case has to say during her sit-down with Bernard once this podcast episode drops. As for what's ahead on My and R, Sharon will continue her efforts to prove her innocence with the help of Nick Newman, Michael Baldwin, Chance Chancellor, and anyone else who uncovers clues along the way. Jordan and Ian Ward are to blame for Heather Stevens' failed Bloom demise, so it's just a matter of time until the whole truth comes out. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sharon will get updates on some jaw-dropping shockers down the road, so stay tuned for more predictions on all the chaos.